Now, if I make this noise frequency a higher value, we'll get these more interesting waves. This can be overdriven too much. Sometimes you don't want to be completely chaotic. I think I'll also change the wave height to make that more noticeable. I'll drive it up to about 4. Let's try this 8. All right, now you can really start to see that. See, that's too much noise in there. That water just looks a little too chaotic. So let me drive that down to about 3. That's looking a little better. Maybe 0.2 would be better for this particular case. And there we go. All right, so let me collapse this for a second, and we can look at it. Not bad. We have a nice looking little beach scene here at sunset. And let's take a quick look at just these last few features here. I'm going to turn off refractive for a second and turn off anti-aliasing also briefly. Let me put this. There is a couple more options. Breakers basically means instead of being a sine wave like an up and down, it has more of a sharp crease in it, and that's basically all that is. If I turn that off, it won't have that sharp crease in it anymore. In fact, let me go turn this way down. You can see that better. See, it's just a rolling wave, whereas if I have the breakers on, it's kind of got a sharp crease. It's also the waves look closer together. But either way is fine. It's just what you prefer. Now this multi-high frequency is a little harder to explain, but it basically uses multiple frequencies or multiple samples of this noise function. And it folds this into the anti-aliasing passes basically to save time. Instead of doing them for every anti-aliasing pass like 10 different times, it does it once for each anti-aliasing pass. So you actually have to use a number of anti-aliasing passes to get this to work, this particular feature. So I'll put this back on 0.5. I'll turn this up like 12 wave height. Now that doesn't look good by itself, but when I turn this on, watch as this resolves. Let me turn on anti-aliasing. And as it resolves, you see all these different frequencies of noise being added together, and it eventually averages into this nice, smooth, watery, wave-looking thing. And that's a good way of getting like a higher perception of scale and that sort of thing. It looks like there's all these like really fine details in all these waves. It's not you don't perceive just one up and down wave, but it's all these different little details in there. So that's what this multiple frequency button does. So let's turn that back off and go back to refractive. That's what I really want to use for this picture. And I'll put that back, and I'll put this back down to about 5. And now, let me collapse this again. Let's take a look at what changing this sky image, what effect that has on our lighting. Because remember, we have this global illumination button turned on. And this is going to change the entire look of the image or the entire scene as I change the sky lighting. Our default is this one here. And there's some cloudier ones and that kind of thing in there as well. And you can see it got a little bit darker, it's a little cloudier, a little warmer. Let's see, let's try a different one. Let's try this one. You can see our whole scene just went, not only do you have this orangish sky, but the whole scene kind of went orange and moody and kind of like, I don't know, scary, like, and let's do a sunset. Oh, and you get this beautiful sunset view here. Let's do one more. This should be a really deep blue. There we go. All right, so let's click done on this. And we don't have to be finished at this point. If you took a photo, you wouldn't be finished. You'd take it into an image editing program, and you'd make color corrections, and you'd adjust the sharpness and all that. So we can do the same thing here. Let's first go into auto balance because that's a good. Ooh, that looks stormy, doesn't it? That's a good way just to do like white balancing and all that stuff. And we'll move this around until we find something we really like. It might be too much, so we can actually we find something we like. We like the color balance, but it's maybe a little too much. We'll click OK, but we can actually fade that out with fade last action. We faded between the original and the adjustments we just made. I like it right about in, let's say right about there. And we can do any other number of changes here. We could do curve adjustments. We can of course put sharpness in there. Um, Unsharp mask is a good high quality sharpening. It does the sharpening on the it doesn't sharpen every pixel. It kind of like does a mask of the high detail areas and sharpens just the detail areas. And then there's this digital photo enhance, which takes that to the next level and only works on the luminance channel, which gives it sort of a higher quality while accomplishing the same task of actually sharpening the image. So let's hit OK, and that's about for the most part everything we need to do to that. We could change the saturation if we wanted to, of course, make it really bright colors if we wanted to, or really subdued if we wanted to. Um, Color effects is a good way of redistributing colors in the image as well. You can see the dramatic changes it has just by moving this around this color wheel, and it's just a good way of exploring the colors in your picture. And as a final result, if all else fails, you can just go through the good old-fashioned color adjustment and make final changes. All right, so I believe that's everything for now. Thanks for watching. Um, this has been a preview of the the PuppyRay ray tracer in Howler 11, which should be available within the next, I would think, in the next 45 days, somewhere in there. And like I said, thanks for watching, and talk to you later, and ta-ta for now.